Staying in the light here. I just got little things I want to say. Just a few minutes of your time. I'm going to talk about negotiations. Not only negotiations, but just not being at a disadvantage. Let me tell you a story. I've traveled overseas, many places, and I felt very strange when who was speaking a foreign language around me, and I did not understand them, but they understood everything I said, but I did not understand what they were saying. In other words, we all know most Americans only speak English, and most of the world speak English and their mother tongue. So that happened to me a little bit, and then I began to say, "Well, I'm not going to put myself through this anymore. I don't know what they're saying," and I didn't like that. So I want to ask these presidents, whoever you are, ambassadors, man, learn the language of the place you at. Are you so superior minded that you don't want to learn another people's language? How can you? You can always be at a disadvantage. I like the fact that I just listened to a video with President and Macron. I was understanding what Macron was saying in in French, and the president didn't understand a word he was saying. He said it. I said, "Man, you the president?" And Macron can speak English, can understand your language, but you can't understand his. If it's such a beautiful language, why don't you learn it? I refuse to believe Americans are just lazy. It must be some reason why. It must be some type of complex why they don't want us to learn other people's languages. Especially, especially if you're a high echelon person. Now, not everybody. I mean, look, Condoleezza Rice, didn't she speak Russian? Yeah, she's the best person to be a Russian ambassador, whatever she was, because she spoke the language. So take some action so you will not be at a disadvantage. If you're living in a foreign country, learn the language, or you will be at a disadvantage because they got one up on you. They can speak their language in front of you, and you don't know what the heck they saying. If that's a comfort, if you feel comfortable with that, don't change. Don't change. I never feel comfortable with that. That's why now nobody gonna speak foreign language around me, and I'm not understanding what they're saying. I'm just saying I got to know what you're talking about. See, I'm not gonna be at a disadvantage. You can speak English, and I can't speak your language. That's a disadvantage. You know, my ancestors, the Moors, they spoke many languages. Many languages. I think the slowest one they call the least competent individual spoke 9 languages. Many of them spoke many more. So if you was a slow person, you spoke at least 9 languages. Make it your goal to not be a slow person. Speak more than 9 languages. Bring back the old ways. You get everything that's in your genes. Once you start speaking these languages, it's gonna be easy. Not right away. Maybe after 4 or 5 months, then your genes, your DNA will kick in because you spoke these languages before. At least your ancestors spoke to you. You're from them. So after a few months, 5 or 6 months, then the DNA gonna remember those languages because you've been telling them for 6 months. Hey, remember, remember. I mean, it may happen to you like it happened to me. So that's all I want to say. Don't be so dumb. Don't be so superior minded. How's everybody going in the chat? My day is going fine. You? You don't think what's right? I don't know what you're talking about. I was taught in school to speak in complete sentences, not fragments, so people understand what you're talking about.